Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We begin with the blessing for reading Torah found on page 169. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav b'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Today's Torah portion is a double portion, Achrei Mot and Kiddushim. Since we are in the second year of the triennial, we'll be reading from Leviticus, chapters 18, verses 6 through 14 later on in the service. The magic of the tradition of Torah commentary is that it commands us to make this ancient text relevant to our contemporary lives. The days we as a community stop adding our contemporary voices to this biblical text, that is the day the Torah belongs in a museum and not in our religious service. Under normal circumstances, we would be discussing this Torah portion and we would be discussing forbidden sexual relationships, most of which we agree with. And then there's the prohibition of homosexuality, the one we do not agree with. But these are not normal processes. I don't know about you, but everywhere, and the effects of it. Shopping, teaching, walking, and yes, even coming to services. I can even be taking a drive in farmland, and I'm noticing how stressed I've been sheltering in place. Even in the absence of COVID-19 signs, reminds me of COVID-19. So forgive me for introducing COVID-19 into a Torah portion that most really accomplished folk will rightfully say it does not belong. My question for us today is, what is nakedness? We're commanded over and over again not to uncover someone's nakedness. What does it mean to uncover one's nakedness? Life before COVID-19, I would have said uncovering one's nakedness was a euphemism for sexual conduct. Today, I'd like to challenge that definition a little. Ibn Ezra defines nakedness as something indecent, something which must be covered up if it is laid bare. Our schools, long before COVID-19, have been trying to figure out how much clothes a student needs to wear in order to be dressed appropriately in school. Parents and their children have been arguing about how much skin can be shown for generations. So how much needs to be covered up to be decent? There's an interesting use of nakedness in Exodus chapter 20, verse 23, where one is making the altar for the tabernacle. In this chapter, a person is told not to ascend the altar by the steps so that your nakedness may not be exposed upon it. Rashi explains this verse by saying that because on account of these steps, you will have to take large paces and so spread the legs. Continues by asking, of course, how is it in the case of stones which have no feelings to be particular about any disrespect shown to them? Why would they care? He answers his own question. Torah ordains that since they serve some useful purpose, you should not treat them in a manner that implies disrespect. In this case, it is considered disrespectful to lift one's leg up to climb a deep step because that would be exposing, quote unquote, one's nakedness. As I was studying the word nakedness, it became clear to me that what is nakedness, what we are forbidden to uncover, is situational. During any one situation, the definition might vary depending on what is considered appropriate behavior. Now, at this point in my talk, I would expect to see looks of confusion. After all, I began by discussing how I am seeing COVID-19 everywhere. So only I, of course, the first thing I thought of when read these verses was, now I have to wear a mask and gloves everywhere I go. When I visit with a friend or family member, it is either through a screen or a mask. Something is always covering up our natural responses and stoking the conversation. Now, do not get me wrong. I cover up. I get annoyed at people who do not and put our health at risk. And at the same time, I rail against having to cover up. To me today, not uncovering one's nakedness means not putting that person at risk for illness. It means not shaming another person by placing all of us in the same boat. Illness has always been the great equalizer. It means having compassion for those who have lost their livelihood to help us stay healthy. It means respecting the needs of our first responders, those who put our own lives in danger so that we can have a life. In our world today, what we say to not uncover, we mean wear a mask, wear gloves, socially distance yourself from another, We mean hold yourself back by doing the very thing you want more than anything else to do. So today, as you go through the service, feel free to think about your own life. What is your place of vulnerability, your places of insecurity, and how do you cover them up to protect yourself and those around you? Hadash Rabbanan can be found on page 173. Please rise. Please rise in either body or in spirit. Yikadam, Yikadash, Shemay Rabba. Yama, Divra, Kirute, Yamlik, Malchute, V'chayechon, V'yamechon, V'chayei, Techobe, Israel. Bagala, V'vizman, Kari, V'inu, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba, Mevarach, V'olam, Olamei, Amen. Yiparach, V'yishtabach, V'yipa'ar, V'yitramam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitolah, V'yitolah, Shmei Dekudesha, V'yichu. Le'era, Nefo Berchata, V'shirata, Tishbechata, V'nechamata, Damiran V'yama, V'imru, Amen. For Israel and her sages, for their pupils and all pupils of their people, and for all who occupy themselves with Torah, whether in this place or any other place, may God grant them and you abundant peace and grace and love and mercy and long life and ample sustenance and saving acts, all flowing from divine abundance in the world beyond, and say, Amen. May heaven grant a universal peace and life for us and for all Israel, and say, Amen. May the one who creates harmony above make peace for us and for all Israel and for all who dwell on earth. Let us say, Amen. Yehi Shalom Rabba Min Shamayim, V'chaim Elenu V'yakol Yisrael V'imnu. Amen. V'aseh Shalom B'mrama, V'yaseh Shalom. Aleinu V'yakol Yisrael, V'yakol Yosrei Teva, V'imnu. Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.